Good morning, amigos. That's Spanish for amigos. It's Spanish for friends. All right, everyone. I'm Isabella Prida, and I'm here in Xochimilco, Mexico City with my super awesome Mexican friend, Rafa Martinez. Your last name is Martinez, right?
It is.
It's not me being racist. His last name is Martinez. We're in this really big lake right now called Xochimilco. It's spelled nothing like how it's pronounced. It's actually Aztec, and it translates to where the flowers grow. You may not see a lot of flowers right now, but we are on a very nice boat tour. Actually, this isn't a boat. What is it called again?
Trajinera.
What'd you call me? It's called a trajinera. So it's super authentic here. People can kind of just come and, rent out these boats for a while, and it's really fun. But we're here to talk about some misconceptions and some myths about Mexico and Mexicans. And Rafa's from Mexico, born and raised, and my background is Mexican, but I've lived in the U.S. all my life. So we're going to kind of talk about, what bothers us. No, we're going to talk about what really annoys us and what people should kind of stop doing and thinking. And I think a lot of times it's not because people are ignorant. I think people are not educated, and there's a very big difference. So what do you say is like one of the worst things that you've heard about, said to you about being Mexican?
Well, first off, whenever I meet Americans, they ask me where I'm from.
Oh no!
Nothing personal. Nothing personal. But whenever they ask me when I'm from, and I tell them I'm from Mexico, and they go like, "Well, you don't look Mexican." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, how's a Mexican supposed to look, you know?
Like rice and beans, I get it. Yeah. It's really annoying. I hate it when people tell me that. And I get it. I'm like very fair-skinned and I'm blonde. But I think what a lot of people don't know or maybe don't remember from learning in their history class is that Spain conquered Mexico like a bajillion years ago. So like a lot of the Spaniards got together with some Mexicans, and then that's how like my kind of family was made. So I'm Mexican, but like technically from my ancestors I'm Spaniard. Yeah. So that's why a lot of us have like the fair skin. Well, I'm really tan right now, but I tanned in my bathroom, not genetically. Not genetically. You see? They didn't get such a cool boat like we did, but that's okay. Ours is nice. Have you ever been to Xochimilco before?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, really?
Many times before, yeah.
I feel like it's a hidden gem. I've never been here. So how would you say does the U.S. political climate affect how you live right now in Mexico? Because I'm sure a lot of Mexicans hate Americans now.
Well, I wouldn't call it hate, but I think that all these misconceptions that you're talking about, they definitely create some kind of friction, especially right now with the political climate with Donald Trump, he doesn't really like us that much.
Yeah, yeah, he doesn't really, and it was the craziest thing. I'm sure a lot of us felt the same way when we heard him say that all Mexicans were rapists and drug lords, and I don't know exactly what his quote was, but it hurt because it hurt me, and again, I wasn't raised in Mexico, but when you come to a country like this and you see the people and the love in the community and how proud people are to be Mexican, to be labeled as something as negative as just all rapists and drug lords. I mean, how did you feel when you heard this man say that?
Well, it makes me mad because he's the president, so whatever he's saying, it will obviously affect all the Americans' opinions. So
it does.
Yeah, definitely. And personally, like whenever I say I'm from Mexico City, people, the first question they always ask is, so is it safe there? And
yeah, I get the same question. What do you tell them?
Well, it is safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a city, just like any other city. It
I
might
say
have
that
its ups and downs,
exactly.
But yeah, it is safe.
Yeah, I say that I get the same question all the time, and I just tell people, well, because I live in LA, so it's like, well, is LA safe? Don't be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then it will be safe, Exactly. Man, I totally feel I hate those questions. You know what my second most popular question is? Is Mexico anything like Narcos?
Yeah.
And I'm like, duh, just kidding. No, I've literally seen more people do drugs in the tiny city of Los Angeles than I ever coming to Mexico City.
Yeah.
It's not, people don't go walking around like murdering each other because they're like, selling coke and stuff. I actually have never watched Narcos, but I'm sure that's what happens in the show. But it's safe for the most part, and it's not infested with drugs, and it's just kind of do you think people can walk Yo, did we just see that duck walk on water? Here in Mexico City we have Jesus ducks. They love to walk on water during my show. Oh, get cute. Oh, so you speak English, and how did you learn English? Like in school, was it taught to you or your parents?
No, in school, yeah.
Oh, really?
Ever since I was little, I'm from a private school.
Mm-hmm.
All my education has been private.
Fun fact, there's actually 45,000 private schools in Mexico City.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Is it Mexico City or Mexico? I don't know, but there's a lot. We're pretty educated. You were saying, Rafa?
And so, yeah, I learned English since I was probably like 5 years old.
Yeah, since very little.
Yeah.
So you learned it without one of your parents having to lie to you half of your life. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that usual, whenever Americans come, they get surprised because there are many people who know how to speak English.
Speak English, yeah.
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 Not all, of course.
Right.
But
that's a big misinterpretation as well, is that Mexicans are not the most educated people, but we definitely are. I actually, oh man, I screenshotted it, now I don't have my phone. I read an article in CNN that said the amount of people, the amount of Mexicans that are now enlisted in college has tripled over the last 30 years. So more and more Mexicans are going to college, which is awesome, because I don't know what it's like in the U.S., but I think a lot of us are starting to go to college a lot less because we kind of know that, the jig is up. But that's a whole different story. How did you feel, or what did you see when the earthquake happened here back in September? Because it was covered all over the news that Mexicans freaking came together. But what was it like experiencing it?
Well, first off, it was awful.
Where were you when it happened? Because it was strong.
Yeah, I was actually at my dad's house.
Uh-huh.
And, I don't know if you guys know, but back in '85 we had another big earthquake.
Oh, that was the big one.
Yeah, and it was on September 19th, which was actually the same day that this one happened.
Wait, what?
Really?
So in '85, and September 19th, 1985, there was a big earthquake in Mexico City.
Yep.
And then on September 19th, 2017...
Same story all over again. Yep.
Oh my gosh. And I didn't know that. So what happened? When the earthquake was happening, were people like, nah, this is like a remembrance thing? Or what was going on?
Well, it was funny because actually, a couple hours before, we had a drill.
Oh.
A drill. So every September 19th, we have a drill. So people have to, do the...
Yeah,
precautionary
whatever
drill for
safety drill. Safety drill. Okay.
Exactly. So we were like, okay, this happens every year. And then the alarm, because we here in Mexico have a seismic alarm, it came off again, and we were like, wait, is this happening all over again?
Do you think a lot of people thought, a lot of people must have thought it was fake, right? It was like a fake second safety drill?
Well, yes, at least for the first 5 seconds, because then the earth started to shake really badly.
Oh my god. And then afterwards, there was I think 3,000 buildings that totally collapsed during the earthquake, right?
Not that much, actually.
Oh, really?
Actually, the one in '85 was a lot worse.
Yeah.
A lot worse.
Right.
But
this one was bad.
This one was bad as well, yeah. There were many, I wouldn't say 1,000, but probably hundreds of buildings damaged.
Oh, okay.
Lots of families had to go out of their homes. There are lots of families still there that don't have a place to live. And personally, I, as well as many other people from my generation. I'm in my late 20s.
You're a millennial.
I am, yeah.
We're millennials,
We're
yeah.
millennials. Let's be proud and say it out.
Yeah, we're Mexican millennials. Hashtag Mexican millennials. That should be a good hashtag, Mexican millennials. Okay, you were saying?
So anyway, I went to help with, what's the word?
Like the
debris, to help carry out the debris.
Okay. And there was a lot of volunteers, right? There was a lot of people just helping random people.
Yeah, and it was really nice, you know, to see this
community
solidarity, this community. But it was also, it got really chaotic because there were many people trying to help. So whenever there's many people trying to do what things, chaos kind of ensues,
Yeah.
So
it gets crazy. I actually heard that the American Red Cross had to start turning people away who wanted to volunteer because there were just like way too many. That's crazy. And that's not just because Mexico is highly populated. It's because we're a people that just like to help one another, right? I mean, I would say Americans like to help each other too, but they like to help each other in ways of like GoFundMe pages and just donating money and, Cardi Bing it up. Actually, do you guys have like GoFundMe here and those kinds of campaigns?
Yeah, we have can I say the
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys better
Freedom
not
of speech, that's right.
Freedom
Kickstarter. We have Kickstarter.
Oh, Kickstarter.
We have another one called Fondeadora. But the thing is, I mean, even though those sites exist, we don't really have that culture
to ask
which,
for money.
A person goes online and he's like, "Oh, I'm interested in this project happening, so I'm gonna
give you money."
Give you money.
That's super interesting because I see a lot of homeless people in the U.S., especially in L.A. where I live, and I'll see some homeless people here too, but there's just such a difference because just living in L.A., you see a homeless person that, not to judge, but they seem perfectly capable of standing and breathing and doing things, and all they have is a sign that says, "Need money." But that's it. Or they'll even come up with crazy things like need money for beer and hookers, or I need to smoke some pot, drop some, money.
Well, at least they're honest.
At least they're honest. But in the U.S., you will not see a Hispanic, and especially not a Mexican, asking for money. You see them asking for jobs. You see them asking to clean your windows, to, shine your shoes, or to do something. And again, I can't say all of them, but definitely from my experience in living in LA the last 9 years, that's what I've seen. And a lot of people will make fun of, we have Home Depot over there, and we'll have all of like the Hispanics just asking for jobs, and people make fun of them. But it's like, at least our people ask for jobs, not for money. And I think that's a very big cultural difference that there is here, because you guys need to come to Mexico City and just drive in the roads, and you'll see people selling gum for like 10 pesos and waters and everything, and like the woman is carrying like this ginormous basket of goodies, and she's got like 3 kids on her back. But it's like it almost makes you feel like they're hardworking people. We are hardworking people. But again, I'm a Mexican millennial. I'm hardworking, but then like I'm also really lazy, so I can't really speak for myself. Yeah. But wouldn't you agree that we're hardworking people?
Yeah, that's another great misconception about Mexicans, is that we are lazy.
Yeah, lazy. Yeah. Oh, yes,
that's a great misconception.
Yeah.
There's actually a Mexican movie called A Day Without Mexicans. And it's about what would happen if all the Mexicans in the U.S. decided to stop working for one day, just for one day. And so, I mean, this is fiction, but all the economy, the American economy collapses, and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing that you just reminded me of is a lot of like the crops that we get, like all the strawberries and stuff. They're complaining that many Americans feel like they want to kick out all of the undocumented immigrants and things and those kinds of people. But it's like, okay, Debbie, are you going to go out in the field for 12 hours a day and pick strawberries for almost little money? Yeah. No, Debbie, you're not. So you should just, Debbie. But wait, you said something about that. What was the name of the movie again?
A Day Without Mexicans.
A Day Without Mexicans. I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to. Yeah, and I remember Kelly Osbourne was co-hosting The View, and I remember she made a remark about, this is when like Donald Trump was getting started, and then she was defending the Hispanics and saying that if Donald Trump wants to kick them all out, then who's going to clean his toilet? And that was like, she got fired after that, which... Sure, she should not say that that's all the Mexicans do is clean toilets. But another misconception I want to address is that, how do I explain it? So I've been to community college and then I went to transferred to university, but it turns out it wasn't accredited because it just kind of wasn't the same level. So that happens a lot here. Here, a lot of people, Mexicans, will be nurses or they'll be technicians or they'll be engineers, but then when they go to the U.S., it's not like the same kind of degrees that they have. So and I remember this because one of my, I think she was my nanny, or was she my, she was my nanny, and she told me that she was this teacher in El Salvador. And I was like, you're a teacher? Well, why are you a nanny now? And I was like young and kind of mean, but like, I just didn't know. And she explained to me, well, in these countries, you can have a very high ranking and a very high-end job, but then when you go to the U.S., they make it really difficult for you.
Yeah, that's true. And in the end, the truth is it pays off, maybe you can be...
Wait, Indians pay off?
No. Like, it pays off.
Oh, it pays off. I thought you said Indians pay off. I was like, yo, Rafa, that's a whole nother video. But I do need to talk to some Indians.
Yeah. Anyway, like, it pays off, because unfortunately, 20 pesos is $1. So in the end, if you are a teacher here, for instance, or whatever, maybe you can go to the U.S. and be, I don't know, something that a vocation which does not require college, and still be earning more.
Oh yeah.
So
America. We do America. Awesome, Rafa. Well, thank you so much for being here and on this amazing boat ride. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, but I don't know if you saw last week's episode, which I'm sure you did because you're a very committed fan to my show, but I was running a contest on the sea turtle video that I had. So my winner is, if I can find it here, my winner is going to be... my winner of the turtle contest is officially Fatima Duran, who shared this video. So yes, congratulations. You kind of like want a turtle, but like you don't get to keep it, but you get a little picture of it, every now and then to see your progress of what the proceeds is. So anyways, again, thank you. I want to thank my live audience over here who did not make a lot of noise today. You can show the live audience. My very committed fans. But also, I want to run another contest right now. If I get 100 likes on this video, Luca will jump into this lake and we will do it live on my Instagram. If I get 500 likes, my mom will swim across this lake wearing the flag of Mexico. So, again, 500 likes for Mommy, 100 likes for Luca. It doesn't mean Luca's a cheap one, but, it does mean a little something. All right, guys, I'm Isabella Prida. This is Rafa. Thank you again. And remember 2 things. Mexico is awesome. It's a beautiful country. And before you judge it, you should visit it. And you can stay with Mommy. She's got lots of space. And secondly, remember, you're the only one that can make today awesome. So have a nice one, amigos. It's Spanish for friends.